Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now we are approaching Christmas time and all the festivities are beginning. I wanted to do a Christmassy video that's still related to disability. It took me quite a while to think of some videos. But anyway, I thought I would do a video on how to make Christmas accessible for people with a visual impairment because I wanted to make it Christmassy and disability related. So I thought I would share some of my tips to make Christmas accessible for people who are blind or visually impaired. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first tip is to do braille or large print Christmas cards. Now these can be done in many ways. It's important to know the person you are sending whether they read braille or large print, because you don't want to be in that awkward situation where you send someone who reads large print a braille Christmas card or vice versa. So to do this, I'm going to start off by discussing braille. You could do braille Christmas cards in many ways. You could buy them if you're not familiar with braille. Many places online actually do them. Some well-known places such as Etsy do them, or you could maybe find some local businesses. You could just search on the internet. If you're feeling creative, then you could create your own, but if you don't know braille, then there are guides online to help you. You could stick a braille message into a card. You could braille straight on the card, just any way which that is best for you. Don't forget though that braille is larger than print, so you may want to shorten your message a bit because you may run out of room on the card. In terms of large print, use a chunky pen on a card that has a good colour background, then it's easy to see. My second tip is to label gifts in an accessible format. This could be putting braille or large print on a gift tag so that it's accessible. You could do it in the same ways as you would write a braille or large print Christmas card. If you can't do that, then if you are at home, you could maybe use an RNIB pen friend, for example, to label your own gifts. Or you could stick a bump on or some kind of sticker so you can tell the difference. You could also use wrapping paper or gift bags that have a different feel to everyone else's, so that blind or visually impaired person can tell which one is theirs and which presents are theirs. I don't know about you, but if you live with family or friends, chances are that there are a lot of gifts around the house, and like me, you can probably never tell which is yours, so those ways can make it accessible. Carrying on with the theme of presents and gifts, my next tip is to not leave presents and other Christmassy items all over the floor. This can be a tripping hazard because chances are if there is something on the floor, I will fall over it, and I'm sure that many other blind or visually impaired and possibly sighted people will do as well. So just put them all to one side, and then that doesn't cause any hazards or tripping and no one will fall. My final tip relating to the theme of gifts is to describe gifts to us. When you open a present and you can't tell what it is, it makes things really awkward because obviously you want to get excited like everyone else, but you just can't tell what the present is. So by getting a sighted person to describe it with us, you get rid of that awkwardness. Also, there's often a lot of packaging on gifts, which means it can often be hard for us to tell exactly what it is without removing all of the packaging. If you are a blind or visually impaired person, then just ask a sighted person to describe the gift to you, or if you're a sighted person, better still, just do it anyway, volunteer yourself, just do it automatically, then we can experience Christmas morning just like everyone else. My next tip to make Christmas that bit more accessible is to purchase accessible games. You can often get these online, or many organisations such as the RNIB in the UK for UK residents sell them, and I'm sure many other organisations across the world do as well. You can also get these on the internet, so you can get well-known and new games that are in large print, braille or are tactile. If you're unable to get these, then you can also get other types of games such as quiz shows that you can put in a DVD player or computer, for example, or also I'm sure you could possibly get some accessible games for the Xbox or any kind of gaming platform. If you have an Amazon Echo or a Google Home or any smart device like that, then they come with built-in games that are fully accessible and you can play with all the family. Accessible games really makes a difference because I don't know about you, but families often play games at Christmas, and it's blind and vision impaired people want to be able to join in just like everyone else. I know I do. So having an accessible game means that we can fully take part and not be isolated or can't play because of our vision impairment. We don't have that issue if games are accessible. Having accessible games makes it fun, inclusive and accessible for everyone, and you can't go wrong there, right? Christmas is a time where we meet up with friends and family, we go out on Christmas parties, we have a lot of social situations, we go out for Christmas dinners, you name it, we do it. That means we can often meet up with friends or family we haven't seen in a long time. People get together, exchange gifts, have a catch up, that kind of thing. So if you haven't seen a blind or vision impaired person in a while and you are sighted watching this, then just describe to us who you are. Say, hi, it's whoever. But that's if we haven't seen you in a while. Many blind and vision impaired people like myself know exactly what you sound like or who you are if we speak to you regularly. But if we haven't seen you in years, then we may not be so familiar. There is nothing more awkward than standing there or sitting there and thinking, I know you, but who are you? So if you think that we may not remember you, then just say who you are and then it's done. My other tip is something that I've seen quite a lot of discussion about recently, and that is to put braille or large print numbers on advent calendars. Now, the numbers on advent calendars are really small, so they are hard for sighted people to see, let alone people with a vision impairment. But you can make advent calendars accessible by, like I said, putting braille or large print numbers on them. You can do this the same way you did the cards and the gift tags, by using self-adhesive sticky back plastic paper and brailing the numbers, cutting them out and sticking them on the advent calendar. You will probably need sighted assistance to do this because you will want to get the numbers on the correct doors, but it can be a fun activity to do. It can also be great for children because that means that it's promoting them learning braille or large print, and it's also a fun way of doing this. It also promotes independence because they can open their own advent calendars and braille them independently, and it also is inclusive because they can be just like their friends. If you are unable to put braille or large print numbers on an advent calendar, then you could also get a tactile advent calendar that you could fill up with your own treats. Then the blind or vision impaired person can count the doors on it, and you can usually pick them up from shops. So there are many ways that you can make advent calendars accessible. I don't know of anywhere where you can personally buy braille or large print advent calendars, so if there is, please leave them in the comments because that would be helpful to people, but it's certainly not hard to make your own and to adapt one yourself. I used to love doing this when I was younger. My final 2 tips for making Christmas accessible for people with a vision impairment is mainly aimed at children. So if you have kids, then you definitely want to listen up. One of them is to do sensory activities. Now, if you live in the UK like me or another country like that, then chances are you don't get much snow. If you live in a different country where you get loads of snow, then you are very lucky. But I saw an article recently where someone suggested making sensory snow, and I thought this was a great idea. So I thought I would share this with you because it can be great fun for blind and vision impaired children to do. The next thing is something that I wish I had done or been able to do when I was younger. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that this thing wasn't actually around then. That makes me sound really old, I'm not honest. So it is to get an accessible letter from Santa. If your kids believe in Santa, then this could be great for them. So the UK charity RNIB does it, and I'm sure many other organisations across the world will do it as well. So what you can do is your child writes a letter to Santa and they then receive a letter back in an accessible format. This could be in audio, braille, large print or email, for example. I think that's great because when I was younger, I always used to write to Santa and then get a standard letter back in just standard print, and that meant my mum or dad had to read it out to me. Although that was all I knew, it would have been great to have a letter in a format that I could have read myself. So there you go, those are some of the ways in which you can make Christmas accessible for people with a visual impairment. They are simple, effective, accessible and inclusive, and that can make all the difference. Obviously you don't have to do all of them, it's completely up to you, but I thought I would share with you some ways in which you can make Christmas even more accessible. Christmas is meant to be a fun time of the year and it's meant to be a celebration and enjoyable for everyone. So those are some of the ways that you can ensure that a blind and visually impaired person has a great time at Christmas. I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'd like to thank you all for your support this year, whether that's reading my blog posts, watching my videos, subscribing to my YouTube channel, my blog, following me on social media, leaving me a comment, whatever, anything like that, an email, just anything. Thank you, your support means the world, and I definitely couldn't have done half the things that I've done in terms of blogging and YouTube this year without you all, so thank you. I really can't wait to make more videos for you all in 2019. If you have any suggestions then please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to film them for you in the new year. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, it would really mean a lot to me. Let's see how many subscribers we can get. If you have any tips to share to make Christmas even more accessible then please leave them in the comments, as I would love to read them and I'm sure many people will find them useful as well. Please don't forget to subscribe and I hope you all have a lovely Christmas. Bye guys!